Brian back here with another Kaspa video. We're coming up to a very, a pretty critical price point here, so I wanted to get a video out here in case some of you guys out there chart this thing. Alright, we're going to dive a little bit deeper in here. This correction could be over for this measured move, for this wedge pattern that we went over yesterday. Pulled down to the areas we were talking about. Now we're getting a bounce up out of here. It's we're up 0.94% as I make this video. But let's go over the market real quick here. On the weekly, you can see there we are, cost by 30.7%. So the biggest gainer of the week out of the top 100. So this coin's definitely looking fantastic. If we go over to the other, wanted to show you a couple other things here real quick. Number one, Bitcoin dominance. Looks like Bitcoin dominance could possibly be just about stretched out here. Okay, if we take this thing, let's extend this out here so we can see it a little bit better. There we go. I'm going to get rid of that. I wanted to show you guys this. I was checking this out earlier. Alright, we had this wedge breakout, of course. This is on the daily chart. Alright, let's actually go into the 4-hour. I have a trend line on this, keeping track of it. Okay, now if this ended up being if you watch this channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about, a 5 wave up here. If this ends up being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we put a trend-based extension on this thing, alright, let's just take it from there, you know, this thing could be pretty close to tapping out. Alright, we'll have to see. Also, we have the 4-hour RSI is about at the top. The daily is at the top, and it's flipped over bearish, a 96.3 and a 97. Alright, so this thing could have tapped out by now, could have a little bit more up. You know, if you look at it here on the daily, you can almost see them waves even a little bit better. You know, right through here, you can see a 1, 2, 3, or 4th wave pullback here. You'd think this 5th wave would come up a little bit higher, but we'll have to wait and find out. But it looks like it might be tapping out a little bit and probably pull back down here. You know, I would expect this thing probably to pull back down right around here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. If we go over to that DXY that we're watching constantly, of course, you can see here this thing has started to bounce back a little bit here. Okay, we had that daily RSI reset, so expecting this thing to bounce. All right, hopefully we stay below this 104.68 and we get a lower high out of this thing. You know, I'd like to see this thing come up maybe right up there to that 702. You know, and then roll over and head down. That's what we're looking for. So we'll keep, that would be a lower high, of course. You know, we'd have this high, a lower high, and then a lower high out of that. So we'll have to keep an eye on this thing. And actually over here on the divergence, we have this as a higher high than this. Okay, so we actually have bearish divergence on this daily. I didn't even see that earlier, but you can see right there we have a lower low on the divergence and we have a higher low on the price action or whatever. So a little bit of bearish divergence there on the daily chart for the DXY. If we go over to Bitcoin itself, all right, I wanted to show you guys this too, because this was kind of the normal wedge that everybody's drawing. Okay, is up. You know, let me get that off there, show you guys a cleaner screen here. Right, the normal wedge everybody is drawing is right like this here. Okay, right like that. Alright, the falling wedge. I was kind of messing around with this chart earlier, you know, and what if this actually ended up being, you know, something like, I gotta straighten these lines out, but something like that there, you know, that's definitely a wedge. You know, if that's the case, then this thing got to break out of that, and we'll find out, because if it breaks the bigger pattern, you know, the one coming down down through here, like that. Let's turn that blue. 2x. There we go. If it ends up breaking this bigger one, then we'll know. You know, but that definitely, them lines connect. All right, so. we'll just have to wait and find out, because I also watch Bitcoin futures, and I had this smaller wedge on Bitcoin futures, which made me start checking this out. And if you haven't yet, please hit the like and subscribe, guys. I would appreciate that so very, very much. Helps me out a ton, and would really love to have you here. Got a great group in here. So this total 2 market cap, it's still hanging in there. It's right in the middle there. We still got it right in the middle of the pattern after that fake out. The other one, the total market cap without Bitcoin, still it's breaking. It broke down, but it's coming back up here. In fact, I'll just show it to you real quick instead of talking about it. There we go. You can see it's trying to make a run back up there to possibly get back inside that wedge. Now the daily RSI is still coming up on it, so that's good to see. Maybe we'll get a fake out just like the other one, and hopefully this thing can get back up in here and then up the other side. That'd be great to see. You know, I see a lot of things really kind of turning bullish with this market, which is fantastic. That's what we want to see, obviously. But let's get into Kaspa here, what I'm getting to. What I wanted to get out to you guys here. Okay, now put this on the 4-hour. Right, obviously we had that breakdown of this this small wedge I was showing you guys yesterday. This is on the 4-hour chart. Okay, now if we take that measurement of that thing, all right, bring it over, put it on here. Okay, it's awful close. All right, real close. So, you know, it could have bottomed here. You know, we could have bottomed. I was calling for support down at right down at the bottom of this at 0.018. I was calling for this area right over here to come in as support right there when I did the video yesterday. We caught it just a hair higher at 0.0187. I was calling for 0.0185, so it could have. This could satisfy that wedge. You know, these things are kind of controversial. You know, where people take their measurements from. Some people take them in the middle. Some people take them the whole way out at the end. You know, usually where my first candle touches, you know, from the top. Let me move this so I can show you what I'm talking about. Usually where my first candle touches up here, the start of the wedge, and where it touches the first touch here is where I usually measure from, you know, which is where we got this measurement from right there. So move it over there, you know, real close. Absolutely, you know, we'll see. But that could be over. One way we're going to find this out is real soon, okay? This thing is making a march back up here. All right, take a trend line and put on this thing. All right, you can see. We're gonna keep track of it, obviously, here with the trend line. All right, but once we get up here, right up to this yellow line, okay, this former support in here is gonna turn. Maybe if it turns resistance, then we're gonna roll over and head for maybe a little bit lower. But watch for the to get through this area. You can see. Let me zoom in here a little bit tighter. All right, you can see that red line from earlier. I thought this thing was going to rip right up through. I was watching this happen when it did. This red line here came up and got rejected right there at 0.021. Okay, so keep an eye on that area. Now it's going to be a little bit higher because this wedge, you know, and of course, who knows how long this thing could take another day to march up through here. But if we get rejected up here, okay, let's call it 0.0213. We get through there, and I think we're pretty safe. I think we're heading up the other side then, and that would be the top of it right there. All right, so we're going to mark that out. We're going to mark that green. We're not going to make it red. Red means stop, so we're not going to use that. We want a green line to go. So I'll be keeping an eye on that, guys, but watch out for that if you're charting this thing. Keep a very close eye on that 0.0212. We get through that, okay, then we're heading up the other side here, heading towards higher prices. But right now this thing's looking fine. Looks like that correction could be over. That could satisfy it, you know. So all right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and everybody have a great night. I love you guys. Talk to you soon.